If you have a sandrail or a race car, or you're thinking about getting a sandrail or race car with a Dogbox transmission, I'm going to show you how to drive with them, because there's always a couple of questions I get about what's the right way to shift it, should you use the clutch, should you not use the clutch. I'm going to answer all those questions in this video. I'm going to show you on this car. This is a Desert Dynamics sandrail, and it has a LS3 engine, but the transmission is a Mendeola S4S or a Weddle S4S. Same transmission, two different manufacturers. They used to be made by Mendeola, but I think Weddle bought the rights or bought Mendeola out. This right here is my shifter. This is my reverse lever. It's going to be a little different than some Dogbox transmissions because this is a sequential, but the things that I explain are universal. All right, so to get going, you're going to use the clutch just like normal, just like that, right? Like a normal manual transmission. And you can drive a sequential, or sorry, a Dogbox like a normal manual transmission, no problem. You can use the clutch. The difference in your shiftability with a sequential transmission, or sorry, the difference in shiftability with a Dogbox comes to upshifting. Now you can drive it just like a regular manual transmission. Push your clutch in, shift your next gear, you're good to go. But inside of the transmission, what lines up one gear to the next is a little different. A normal manual transmission uses what are called synchronizer rings. And those synchronizers actually get the gears to kind of like mesh together better. They get them spun up to the same speed so you can grab the shift lever and grab the next gear. With a Dogbox, it uses a ring that has, they're called dogs on it, big fat teeth. It's a little different. So if you want to shift without a clutch with the Dogbox, you totally can. What you're going to do is you're going to get on throttle, and then right when you go to shift the next gear, you let off a little bit and shift to the next gear. So accelerate off, grab next gear. Now, downshifting, however, you have to use the clutch to downshift. Because the transmission, because the getting those gears to line up properly doesn't work to rev it up. Because getting the transmission to rev up into that, or to rev up to shift down doesn't work that way, right? You can't let off the throttle and let it spin up to the next gear like you can when you upshift. So, use the clutch to upshift, use the clutch to downshift, or don't use the clutch to upshift but get on throttle, let off to let the gears match, and then you upshift and the downshift, push your clutch in, shift the lever forward to go down a gear. Very straightforward. Now, I tend to use the clutch as often as possible, as often as feasible, because it helps reduce the wear on the transmission. So if there's no problem using the clutch with where you're driving at, just use the clutch. That way you don't wear out the dogs. When you know the time when you know to go and rebuild the transmission or to fix a Dogbox is going to be when you notice when you go to shift it and it pops back out of gear. Okay? That means the dogs are worn and it's not keeping the gears engaged. But that's pretty much it. Clutch or no clutch, doesn't matter. If you shift the clutch, it's going to make the transmission last longer, make the dogs last longer. But if you want to shift without the clutch, you totally can. Just remember to get on throttle, grab the next gear, or just remember to get on throttle, let off, and grab the next gear. It's very similar to shifting a normal synchronized transmission without a clutch. You can still shift a normal manual transmission that way. You're going to do it the same with the Dogbox, same theory, but it's just easier to do with the Dogbox because they make the synchronizer ring a little bit differently with dogs instead of gears that wind up. Now let's go do some practice. Let's go do some actual testing in the Doom series so you can see how I shift, when I shift, all that good stuff. clutch. Oh, now I got to downshift, use the clutch. Sometimes you're just doing so much that it's hard to, like, I mean, it's easier to shift without the clutch than it is to try and shift with the clutch. So it doesn't really matter. If you got the brain power and the ability to use the clutch, go for it. If not, it's all good. And I guess technically you can downshift without the clutch, but it's going to wear out the dogs in the transmission a lot quicker and put a lot more wear on the internals of the transmission. Little jump off the lip there is coming through. All right, this is a little tight, so I just downshifted. Ugh. Come on, come on, come on. There, I shifted without the clutch because it was a little easier there. It was a pretty intense spot, so I didn't want to use the clutch. Just because it's one less thing for my body to have to deal with. There, I pushed the clutch into downshift. Oh, this is looking a little sketcy here. I'm giving him a little bit of space. I used the clutch that time to shift. Whoa! Woo! Clutch to upshift that time as well, because I could. No problem. Clutch in, downshift. And down we go. Little dab on the brakes near the bottom so we didn't bottom out. I also have turning brakes on this car, so that's the other lever that's there next to the shifter and the reverse lever. So you'll see me dab that from time to time. Oh, yep, here we go. Turn, turn, come on, turn. Turn, turn, turn. There we go. Woo! That was a little intense. Come on, keep moving, keep moving, keep down to first. Wow, these are really tight and technical right here. Come on, keep it moving. Getting to a little bit of a flat light here too, which makes it a little harder. There's a little steep down. Let's see, steep, keep it in first gear, down around, grab second to catch up, grab that turning brake to get the car turned sharper. Touch it into third just so we can cruise around here. Oh, slow down and back into second. All right, a nice tight little one right here. Oh, here we go, a nice big hill. It's a little steep right here at the bottom, so we go slow, throttle on. Not enough speed there, not enough to grab the next gear, but that's all right. A little bit of turning brake action right there as it's tight. Woo! Now we're just kind of cruising in second gear. tight section here. Man, the bowls are really tight this trip. Okay. Woohoo! Man, this is fun. Oh, big steep down. Whoa! Let's see if we can grab a third in this one. No clutch shifting. No problems. All right, now we slow down, tap the brakes. So we're gonna go down to the first right here. Woo! A nice steep drop right here. There we go. Oh, jeez. Come on, come on. Grab a second. I decided to use the clutch that time. There we go. A little steep bump. We got a steep drop right here, so we're gonna drop it down into first. We got the clutch in right now. Roll it down. There we go. Grab second gear with the clutch. No problemo. All right. Nice and chill over to Freeway Hill. There you go. That is driving a Dogbox, technically a sequential, 4-speed sequential transmission.